Vice Mayor Peterson? That's because my microphone was muted. Apologies. I'll start the roll call over. The meeting has been called to order. Councilmember Maloney? Present. Vice Mayor Pearson? Present. Councilmember Mendoza?
Just one, please. Vice Mayor, can you please confirm your room?
Vice Mayor, you're
I'm in the room.
Thank you. Councilmember Mendoza?
Here.
Councilmember Orland?
Here.
Mayor Meyer?
Here, please don't begin the pledge of allegiance. We'd like to start with a presentation. The large director of engineering will introduce the presentation for tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. This evening, I'm presenting alongside DoorDash representatives the DoorDash delivery robots. As a quick summary, we have been in discussions with DoorDash and Over Labs with regards to an enforcement permit and agreement to allow them to pilot their robot delivery operations, which they'll expand on later in the presentation. As part of this enforcement permit and agreement, the applicant is required to provide a deposit account along with the permit and state issue. We've been going through permit conditions that goes over operations, safety requirements, and some other key aspects that's going to be needed to be met prior to operation. There's also insurance requirements that has to be met. They also provide a surety to cover any damages that may happen, as well as this permit and agreement is revocable at any time.
Thank you for tuning in.
In discussions with Over Labs and DoorDash, this is the boundary they're currently looking at to initially deploy within. So this is their service boundary. It's generally within the 45 west side by Fairview Avenue, Downhill Road to the south, Sellers Avenue, and the city border to the east, and then Marsh Creek, Sunset Road, and Sand Creek Road to the north. This is the initial pilot area they're looking at. So they will not be operating in the rest of the city. If these are the, at a high level, these are the permit conditions we're looking at initially. We are looking for having them operate no more than 2 robots at any time. And these 2 robots would be followed by a human operator with DoorDash. So that would help to ensure that the robots are operating correctly. And also, if there's any questions from the public, that the DoorDash operators are there to address any questions. In addition, prior to operations, there's going to be training required of police and public works staff to ensure that police and public works staff are properly trained to know how to move the robot in the event it becomes incapacitated within the right of way. There's also hours of operation restricted between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. There's also going to be restrictions with regards to no operations within 300 feet around schools during the drop-off times, and also no operations within a 1,000-foot radius around planned special events. With that, I'll hand it over to DoorDash to present their robots.
Can I ask a question real quick? When did your conversation start with DoorDash?
I would say it started about over 2 years ago. I think when we first came in through the city manager's office at that time, possibly the assistant city manager in economic development. So there's a lot of interest from that side.
Did you know how much staff time has been spent on it in the 2 years?
As far as the staff time spent,
I guess they're talking about
reviewing it,
DoorDash robots.
it's hard to say.
Starting with this bullshit. I just want to get to the comments.
15 hours.
That's from the permit perspective. How about any other staff?
Just from meetings with the operator and then going over the encroachment permit and agreement.
Do you have an estimate for that?
I mean, the total time after. Um, Don't have one currently, we're about more than halfway through. So probably looking at an additional, let's say 20 hours just to get the permit and agreement completed.
Okay, I have more questions for staff, but we'll move those to the end. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. Thank you for having me here. My name is Henry Greenwich. I lead public policy for DoorDash Labs, and DoorDash Labs is the
I agree.
Autonomy and Robotics Division. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Thank you for the city staff for the opportunity to collaborate over these past several months. It has been a labor of love working with the city to bring this project to where it is today. Dot is DoorDash's commercial autonomous delivery robot. You can see Dot in the corner here tonight. Dot is compact, it's electric, and it's purpose-built for short distances.
That robot
in
right
neighborhoods.
there.
Dot is 1/10 the size of a car. It produces zero tailpipe emissions.
Wait.
And it's designed to operate conservatively in bike lanes,
right there.
sidewalks, and in pedestrian environments.
Big old red
It
robot.
has a maximum speed of 20 miles per hour in bike lane and much less in areas like sidewalks. Every dot is monitored in real time by trained human operators. And if anything unexpected occurs, dot stops and the human operator can intervene immediately. Before customer-facing operations begin, DoorDash conducts detailed mapping operations along with robust community engagement and planning with the city. In terms of accountability, DoorDash takes its responsibility very seriously. We have been testing DOT for many years now. It has been operational in Concord, California, San Ramon, with our biggest deployments to date in Arizona, in Tempe, Mesa, and we've recently announced expansions to Gilbert and Chandler. We have spotless safety records. We've had no safety incidents to date, and we're proud of that. For Brentwood merchants, this is a real opportunity. Today, DoorDash has 216 merchants on the DoorDash platform. We average about 2,700 deliveries per day. And out of that 2,700 deliveries, about 1,200 of them remain in Brentwood. Bringing DoorDash Dot to the market is not just about bringing a robot to the streets. It's about providing merchants, customers, and dashers alternative ways to experience delivery. If you think about the way delivery is today, it's a spectrum. We're right here. What we can do with autonomous solutions is bring it right here in terms of experience. Now, one thing I do want to make clear, we're not replacing dashers. Dashers are truly at the heart of what we do. They're the backbone of DoorDash. Not every delivery is going to be right for an autonomous delivery. But we do believe with the volumes that we are experiencing, that DoorDash Dot is a viable alternative. It helps dashers, it helps customers with the experience, and of course, it helps merchants. One of the things about DoorDash is it's all about empowering local economies. We have to continue to help merchants provide for their customers and remain competitive. And we think Dot really fits in with the fabric of it. You know, one of the questions that we got from our city stakeholders is why Brentwood? It's a really great question. As you heard, we've been at this for about 2 years now. It is partially because we have taken a look at the streetscape.
Be patient, everybody. We gotta deal with this first.
Infrastructure, and DOT was purpose-built for those types of environments. We've also taken a look at the profile of merchants. We recognize that we can reduce traffic trips with the introduction of DOT. Now, we are at the beginning of this work. We consider this work a true partnership. It's not just about deploying robots. We really want to work with the city on ways in which we can engage the community and educate them on what delivery is like today and what it could look like in the future. We also want to work with merchants on how to do the same. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have and welcome the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. I'm sure we're going to have some questions from council. Anyone like to start?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your presentation to this afternoon. You talked about the fabric of the city of Brentwood, and one of the things, we are a deep ag community that believes and loves on its residents. One of the things that's really important for me is not that we just go from economic focus to that driving up the dollar and just about merchant services, but also about building healthy communities. Can you tell us more about what DoorDash does to help support building healthy communities and not communities that's just going to overspend on food that may not be as healthy for us?
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, it's not just about deploying robots. One of the things that you get with DoorDash is the full menu of services. So for example, we do have a very robust social impact team that really focuses on how we can further the platform. And so DoorDash is a brand that is in every community in America. We take the health of these communities very seriously. There are a number of initiatives that we have for local residents that we can bring to bear. All of those are on the table for our conversations with the city. So as I mentioned, this is the beginning of that work. We'd be happy to work with you on any of the programs that make sense to further those goals.
Thank you, that's all my questions.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. I have a few questions. One of the points that you've pointed out is that it would be accompanied by a human. How would that work?
Absolutely. So it works in a few different ways. Number one, you do start up slowly. So again, it's not just about putting the robot on a road and expecting it to operate. This is a weeks to months long process, which will reach several milestones in working with the city to do so. And so we first map the city, and then we enter the mapping validation phase. During that phase, we typically take about 2 to 3 robots that are accompanied by a human operator. And they're essentially validating our understanding of the world around it. And so they will remain with the robot until we reach certain milestones in terms of validating what the map states.
On a bike, in a car, on foot?
Great question. So this happens on e-bike. And so once we have concluded that process, we then move on to autonomous operations. Now, our autonomous robots are always monitored by humans.
I know, right?
The humans are interacting with the robots via a remote sort of satellite, and so they are remote operators. They can always intervene. They can help the robot navigate. For example, there are issues.
The robots will be taking our jobs.
Off the street. One of the unique features about the robot you're seeing here tonight, it's our 3rd generation robot. Out of it, it has a two-way
That's true.
feature, which allows us to have conversations with first responders and police departments, and we can direct them accordingly for any emergency that is needed. We do train officers on how to work with us on that, and happy to roll that out here.
Have you deployed this in any other cities in Contra Costa County? And if so, do you have any statistics on any types of vandalisms or destruction of these robots, since that's going to take staff's time away from what they're doing?
So not specifically in the county yet. We publicly unveiled that to the world late last September. And since then have been talking with a number of cities. No, we have not rolled out any specifically. To get rid of vandalism, we have thought about that issue and take it very seriously. So number one, that does have a hatch that locks. And so from a safety perspective, you can't actually access the hatch unless you are the merchant or the customer. In terms of vandalism, we have.
Yeah, that's true. Trying to save a buck any way they can,
Especially
so they can make more money.
contacts that sit on the DoorDash platform. But today, that has been very limited for DOT. We've seen majority of those incidents in Arizona. We think the best way to combat that is with community engagement. So being out there, letting people see that, letting them understand how that actually works. Unfortunately, though, it is something that we do expect, especially in the early stages.
Just to add, Henry had mentioned that they are operating in Concord, California. That's actually in Contra Costa County, so.
Thank you. And it's basically, you spoke about sensors and like communication, two-way communication in this robot. Is it have 24-hour surveillance recording cameras?
Yes.
And recording devices?
So typically, we don't operate 24 hours. Our hours of operation are developed in consultation with the city, but so long as there are operations on a road, we do have, our staff is running. And so the sensors, which includes cameras, LiDARs, and radars, is operated.
And then has there been any thoughtful analysis done on how many human jobs it would take?
I'm sorry?
Has there been any analysis on how many, like, how many
Welcome
human jobs it
in.
would
They
take?
haven't done any
basically
public comments. They're still talking
Absolutely
about
not.
robots
The
with
way that's
Uber
designed
right now.
to complement our dashers. And so what we experience today is you've got a company like DoorDash that continues to grow. We've grown minimum 20% year over year since the pandemic. And so what we're trying to do is really address orders that we fulfill with autonomy. And so what that allows for is our dashers to really focus on orders that make more sense for them. And so in many cases, those orders are larger orders. So for example, if you're trying to deliver coffee or a sandwich, in many cases, that's something that Dot can deliver, and we can reserve dashers for orders that are larger in size.
Thank you. And last question, would that mean you would have infrastructure in our city to store these robots?
So that is an important question. That's definitely something we're exploring. We've got many different ways of doing this. We've opened hubs. We've also opened smaller nets. I don't think we specifically decided how best we can serve the city of Brentwood today, but it's a conversation we would have with the city. And if we do open a local hub, we would conduct local hiring.
Thank you for your answers. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Yeah, so first and foremost for staff, I would like to stop any staff time and tax money being spent on this until we have a city council meeting so we can understand the burden on staff, the burden on police, the impact. It sounds like we've already spent a lot of money, which is our residents' money. I think they should have a say if this is going to happen in their town. So I'm actually disappointed we have spent so much time on this. Secondly, I am familiar with the Uber Eats. And I'm going to tell you, I did not like them walking around LA. It was from a resident perspective walking around, and it was smaller than that. You know, we already have problems with the kids on the bikes and people trying to jog and all that. So I do have concerns, and I think those are all
Yeah, the
things
robot
that we
she's
have to
pointing
talk about.
at, it's about 5 feet tall.
You know, we talked about, I don't know if you heard the hearing this last week with Waymo. And there are people that manage these from far away. Their people are in the Philippines that are driving cars in the US. Where are your people?
So our base of operations are in the Bay Area, so San Francisco and Oakland, California.
So all of your remote people are in San Francisco. There is no remote people anywhere outside of the Bay.
I know we've experimented with remote operations outside of the U.S. Both of our operations are in the United States.
Okay, the full, but that's what I need. I need a guarantee that they are in the United States. It was shocking to everyone if you heard that hearing this last week with Waymo, that all of their remote people were in the Philippines and they don't even have US licenses and they're driving basically cars in the US. So I think we need to discuss that. But I think before we really, as a council, we should bring the public into this because they're the ones that are going to be impacted the most. So I will be bringing up an agenda item that we get a full report from staff and the impact to the city. The impact, there is a lot of vandalism. There is a lot in LA on the Uber Eats. Our police department's going to get called a lot more, and who pays for that? The taxpayer in Brentwood. So I think we need to understand all of that, and maybe our staff can do some partnering with Uber Eats to understand, because they've been around it longer, understanding the vandalism and the financial impact on the city when they bring these in. Because I don't think it's fair that our residents have to pay for that. So I just have a lot of concerns, and I think we need to talk a little bit more. If you go online, none of our residents want it. If you'd like, the city made a post, and no one wants it.
So why is he here
So I
then?
think it's up to us as council people, if we're representing the people, we bring them into this conversation. I think we move way too fast on this, in my opinion.
Councilmember Orlemans?
He's just standing there looking down.
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, Mayor, for the record, Gio Duffy, city manager, because this process of doing encroachment.
Where is
That
that?
meant that when DoorDash approached us, we had to provide a deposit, and all of the staff that was associated with the project comes from that deposit. So this is not a gift of public funds. This is a business opportunity in which we, on the business facility, we treat this like a business measure. So they give us a deposit, and all the staff that was associated with this comes directly from that deposit.
How much is the deposit?
The initial deposit was $5,000, but as we move through and if the balance goes down, they'll have to refund it to continue.
And when it comes to an encroachment permit, planning can call that encroachment permit for review, correct? And we can actually ask for it to not be issued until it comes to council.
Might have to defer to the city attorney on that.
The encroachment permit is issued in the sole discretion of the city engineer, and there is an appeals process for applicants laid out in the municipal code, but not for any other property.
So can we bring this back as an agenda item and discuss further before the encroachment permit is given out without public input?
You could discuss the general nature of it, but whether or not to issue the encroachment permit would be within the purview of your city engineer.
Okay, so what can council do if three of us decide that we're not happy with this, or the public comes and says they're not happy with this, or the public, it doesn't matter what the public wants? Alan can go ahead and deliver the encroachment permit?
I would never say it doesn't matter what the public wants. I would say that Ellen has a duty to.
They don't care about the public. That's why we're all here.
So I'm sure you would.
You heard?
So Alan, how would you take in consideration, are you going to do town halls? How are we
Listen to
gonna-
the public, we wouldn't be here.
Well, this is the first opportunity, so, this is a great thing that we brought this forward. We really was looking for public input. So seeing how it was deployed in San Ramon and Concord and Arizona, and kind of the previous episodes we had with about 2 years ago when we started this process, it was exciting. However, that was the kind of, tonight was the first step as far as soliciting feedback. Rest assured, that everything that's said tonight is taken into account. I know it's within my authority to issue. For me, it's all about public safety, making sure everything's done right and correctly. So I'll have to definitely confer with the city manager and we can go from there.
Okay. Councilmember, go ahead.
In regards to you made a statement in your presentation that you have deployed in Concord and San Ramon and 0 safety incidents at either one of those 2 locations. That's right.
That's correct.
So no vehicle accidents, no pedestrians injured, no.
No.
Can the same be said about the drivers that are doing your DoorDash on a regular basis? I'm assuming you're part of that, you would know the statistics of that.
I don't have the statistics in front of me, but I can't say that for the drivers, there are 0 safety critical incidents.
So, okay. So the.
Tell them what?
Has not
Carlos,
been
something for me.
deployed in Contra Costa County in 2 different cities. And we have 0 incidents of safety violations or incidents of injuries.
That's correct.
Okay.
Hey, Nicolette, when
Are those still with human beings?
they start with the public comments, can you go into
So we have different phases.
the
It's we've been.
BBNO chat and let them all know the public comments started? And to tune in, please.
Ceremony in Concord, do they have people with them, or are they are the units independent?
So it is brought for this reason. If we're testing a new branch, we will have our operators accompany the robots. For your regular everyday operation, we are in autonomous mode. We are operating.
In San Ramon and Concord during autonomous mode?
That's correct.
Okay, I can move that to Councilmember Albany.
So I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second because I was, but did DoorDash approach the city of Brentwood looking to bring this into Brentwood? We didn't reach out to you asking you to bring it, right?
That's correct.
Why? Why Brentwood?
Sure. For.
Brentwood got money.
For, infrastructure here, because of the way DOT is designed and intended to be used, it really is a benefit in terms of the type of merchants you have, the density, again, bicycle infrastructure, all of those things weigh heavily on whether DOT can be successful.
So he's not answering the question. He's just saying the benefits of it being here.
DOT could operate here successfully.
Okay, thanks.
That was
Thank you for your presentation. Obviously, there are some strong feelings here, and I have seen the online posts about this. There's a lot of concern. I'm not clear, when you talk about the benefit to the merchant and to the dasher, how exactly do both of them benefit?
Sure. So for the dasher, it allows them to really focus on the orders that can, in some cases, be more lucrative. For the merchant, it gives them another opportunity to, in some cases, extend their delivery zone, gives them an innovative way to deliver their goods. A lot of our merchants report positive impact from using DOT. One of the things that we consider with DOT is the infrastructure around it. So for example, we developed a tool that accompanies that called Smart Scale. What Smart Scale does is if you
pain should not be the
order
price
to ensure that from
being seen and heard.
it is appropriate for DOT, but in the process, what it allows for
That's
is the
true.
merchant to really track all of the orders, and we have found that there's reduced missing items by 30%. And so it's another way.
That robot
Efficiency.
looks very plastic.
Mentioning the cost.
It's very plasticky.
There's no additional cost.
It's red, black, and cream colored.
If the customer orders via DOT, there is no tipping function.
It looks like a
So it can be ordered that is cheaper.
like an old
So
school
just to be
shampooer.
clear about why I think there's some of this upset in the community is because we are a commuting community. We have a lot of people that come home from work and then the other parent, for example, might go out and DoorDash to make a little extra money. And I think there's probably a lot of that happening here. I know my husband and I use DoorDash a lot, but what concerns a lot of people is even though it might just be a little bit of money to some, it's really helping families get by and survive. You know, I still don't quite see that it's that much of a benefit for dashers. And I guess if you're talking about making one trip for 10 sandwiches versus one trip or 5 trips for a cup of coffee, right? Do you have any kind of actual statistics that show that? I mean, is there something that Concord and San Ramon can share with us to show that their dashers are not losing any of their hours or their funding that they get from this job?
I'm afraid we are at the very beginning of this work, and so all of these metrics, by the way, DoorDash is a very data-focused company. So we're doing, we hit 10 million deliveries a day last year, right? So we're talking lots of deliveries. And so we make these decisions really looking at all of the volume that we experience. And so we do continue to monitor the impact from dashers. We don't have anything public, but this is certainly something that is ongoing as we look at the impact of that.
Okay. I do want to clarify too, you were talking about use of sidewalks,
That's correct.
right? What about someone with a stroller, someone who's got disabilities, walker, or wheelchair, that kind of thing? What does that interaction look like?
Great question. So DOT is designed to be very conservative, so it understands the world around it. And so if there is someone that's pushing a baby, if there's someone who is in a wheelchair, DOT can recognize that and can either pause accordingly or move accordingly.
Okay, and then you
Just shoots a laser at them.
bicyclists, we have
Like a missile.
kids on bikes, and we also have a lot of e-bikes. So some of those are moving pretty quickly, in and out of traffic, up and down off those curbs. What kind of reaction would there be to that?
So one of the reasons why DOT moves up to 50 miles per hour is for the fact that it is safer for it to keep up with traffic. As that traffic approaches DOT, it is going to decide whether it needs to slow down, move to the right, or move to the left, or if it needs to stop.
That's crazy.
DOT is designed with the bicycle.
That shampooer looking machine goes 20 miles an hour.
Mode of operations is in the bike lane. We do use the sidewalk, and the thought behind that is to get as close as to the merchant and the customer as possible. But the primary operating is the bike lane.
Okay, I do you have a moment? Go ahead.
One more question, I'm sorry. How many are you deploying at one time in each one of those cities, Concord and San Ramon?
highly dependent on the city, so it's a very, very local approach. So I don't have exact numbers. Typically, we work with the city and we decide on cap on how many that we will launch before having to go back to the city. What I can tell you is, again, we would start here, very small, 2 to 3 robots that would help us with the map validation phase, and then we would scale up from there. And as part of the implementation process, I do recognize there will be a cap that we need to with the city. So it's very much a conversation with the city that we agree to.
And would the deployment of those robots be customer dependent or would it be merchant dependent?
They're just trying to get
Like, would the customer
paid.
choose they want a robot to deliver to them?
Yes, that's correct. They can opt in or they can opt out.
So, yeah, my questions were about that kind of thing. So one of the reasons I like using DoorDash is because I will have a mom with a child in a car seat, and I know that they're working hard to make a living. I do have concerns, what we talked about before. Why not just employ more drivers to give them jobs versus a robot? Why not help the community more?
Absolutely. So one of the things about DoorDash, we're a publicly traded company, and so if you look at, no one does this, but if you look at our previous report over the last quarter, what you learn is that we continue to invest in growing a Dasher network. And so when I say Dashers are the backbone of what we do, the really the heart of what we do, I mean that. And so our investment dollars are going to attracting more Dashers onto the network and keeping them on the network. But autonomy does represent great opportunities to address that piece of the pie. We recognize that not every order is going to be appropriate for a dot, but we can remove cars from off the road. We can reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We can work with schools and students on robotics and show
Yeah, right.
real world deployments. There are lots of benefits that we are seeing, and I do have to tell you, so far, feedback has been overwhelmingly positive from the experience, not only for merchants, but the general public as well. All of your questions are completely valid. I'm happy to have a separate meeting with you to go through each one of them and just bring just more awareness as to how we're addressing certain concerns.
I would like a town hall. So one of my standard practices is I do not have separate meetings. Anything I talk about, I talk in front of the public. I don't think it's appropriate to have closed door meetings when it's something that's going to impact the public. So I would like to have a town hall where the public really understands what's going to happen, especially the neighboring areas where the map showed. I think that's important that we do that. But I again go back to, if given the choice between this robot and a mom or a dad or a teenager trying to save up money or a college student, I choose the person every single time. So, that's, I will choose my residents every single time. My other question is, what is, you mentioned
Sure,
that you're a
Mexican.
data-focused company.
That's correct.
And I guess one of my disappointments was that there isn't a lot of data in the presentation today. When I'm asking questions about how many of your Concord and your San Ramon ones are with a person and not, I don't get a clear answer. So it's hard, when people don't show me data and just sell me, it's hard for me to believe what you're doing. I'm not saying you're lying, but when I don't have concrete data, it's very hard for me to believe some stuff. Again, watching the hearing with Waymo, it was very eye-opening to me this last week. So Ellen, my question is, what's the standard width of a sidewalk?
Standard widths in Brentwood, I will say, most of them are
3 feet.
4 feet.
Okay, and how wide is it?
I believe it's 30 inches.
So I don't understand, if I'm in a wheelchair and I'm going down the street, where does it go? Does it go into the landscaping? Because that's not space.
As I mentioned, the primary area of operation is going to be the bike lane. And so it does utilize sidewalks, it does use parking lots, all of those things, it traverses all of those things, but it's primarily not really.
It's primary, but when it's on the sidewalk.
Right, and so in your height, if it is a situation, it could pause to allow the passing. That's probably what it's going to do in instances. I'm not sure I follow the question.
So if there's someone in a wheelchair going down the street and this waymo's coming, why should they be the ones that have to move? I mean, it's just, if they can't leave the sidewalk, how does the wheelchair get through? If it's 4 feet, 30 inches, it's just, it's not.
I think I understand how you So if I was looking on the situation, in that given scenario, that sounds like that might be something that our remote operations team would step in. They might need to remove the robot or allow it to offer more space to the other person in the wheelchair. Highly dependent on the scenario.
Okay, so when you guys come back, can you come back with the scenario that I just explained? Somewhere where there's landscaping on the sides of the sidewalk, where there's a wheelchair, what happens? And I also want to know exactly how many people are here locally on the remote and how many people are
They haven't got
not here in California.
to put the comments yet. They're still
I
talking
do
about a
think that
damn
happens a
robot
lot,
to
where
take
the
over
remote people
Uber
are the ones
Eats.
that take care of it because they see it through the cameras. So I'd like to understand how many and where they are. So,
And the Vice Mayor has, go ahead.
Thank you. My question is to Director Bachler, the timeline for the encroachment for the decision. When was that, how much time do we have? I know everything is a time slotted. So I just wanted to know what the timeline looks like for your decision making.
May I jump in here, please, Mayor? There is no timeline here. This particular item has been in the pipeline for the last 2 years. When I saw this item, I wanted to get to your direction so we could have a discussion. We are not going to be issuing a encroachment permit. The purpose of this particular meeting today is to daylight this situation and have a conversation. And that is the point of this. For the DoorDash company to be in the process for 2 years while the city decides internally whether we want to proceed or not isn't fair to the DoorDash company, isn't a good business steward. So I requested that Alan and the police department engage the company and bring them to the policymakers so we can have this discussion. After the discussion, based on this, I will get some direction from the council and I will prepare a report and bring it back to the council and the policy body.
I hear you,
can make a
Nicolette.
decision Whether we move forward or not and issue the permit.
Thank you for that clarity.
Trying to get justice, still here worried about a damn robot.
Timeline for encroachment permits, or can it just go on for years and years and based on what you said, it sounds like it can?
Well, Alan can issue the permit, he will not issue the permit based on my direction, especially based on this conversation. The purpose of the meeting today was to have this conversation, so the council can give us direction on how we move forward.
Okay, I'm gonna move in at this point. I think we've had a good conversation, but it does sound like we need to have a little bit more. Harold, thank you for explaining us that.
I know, right? They do have hella money.
Conversation, but I also feel
They're trying to
like this
make more
was,
money.
it was agenda
Get rid of the
presentation, not
humans.
necessarily as a discussion item. And so we need to both keep that in mind and also keep in mind that it means that the public might not realize that they can have input during this time. And so I would really like to have some sort of format for which the public can comment, ask questions, whatever that looks like. And I appreciate the answers to the questions. I know it was a lot. When we hear a lot of concerns from the community, we in turn are going to bring them forward to make sure that they're answered. But it does sound like we have more than what we're able to answer tonight. I would also like to see our staff interacting with Concord and San Ramon, both PD and staff.
You didn't even answer no questions. You were just saying the benefits of it.
And maybe what they're
All
hearing
he
from
was
the
talking
residents as
about.
well.
And Mayor, I think it's also very important that we also reach out to the 216 companies that you referenced to see how the community feels about this also. So we'll try to come back with a comprehensive view of the process.
and I think reaching out to Uber Eats because I did see a lot of vandalism in Westwood with these units. Thank you.
Thank you again for your presentation, for coming out and answering our questions, and for understanding that we just really want to make sure that the public has a chance to ask and understand and learn a little bit more before we move forward. Thank you to staff for the presentation, and you have the direction you need to move forward at this point. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Moving into public comments.
Here we go,
The
folks.
public comment time for tonight's items will be 2 minutes each. In order to ensure that all speakers feel welcome.
They
to share
cheated
their
us a minute.
members of the audience are
Each
kindly
person can only talk for 2 minutes.
For speaking to the council from the audience, without being called upon first.
At this time, the public is permitted to address the city council on items that are not on the agenda, items that are under informational reports or on consent calendar, requests for future agenda items and requests. Comments pertaining to future agenda items or business items should be made when those items are called. Please limit your remarks to 2 minutes. The microphone will be muted when the timer expires. The first few speakers I have is Rachel.
The timer right there.
Followed by Rich. Followed by Christina.
Good evening, Mayor Meyer and esteemed city council members. I want to start off by truly thanking you for your time. I'm Rachel Lay, one of the president of Heritage Speech and Debate, and we're here to address the issues with our child.
So for some quick context, hello, I'm James Spears. I am the section leader for the impromptu speech team. We are the Heritage High School Speech Debate team, and in the last 5 years, we've grown to over 100 members and have fundraised over $17,000 in the last year alone. And our impact is seen within this community specifically, because on this very youth commission, 5 out of the 10 members come from our.
And we're coming here today specifically because we were referred to you from Ms. Carolyn Witt, who described that we can help with granting a grant or a stipend to our team. Specifically, despite our successful track record of is on the verge of a shutdown, and speaking with dozens of our teachers, we have found that the stipend is the main issue as to why we are encountering any issues with actually getting an advisor for next year. Specifically, to incentivize our teachers and administration to pursue a recruitment of our speech and debate coach, we come to you to ask for consideration of a city council funded grant to fund an annual renewable stipend for Heritage Speech and Debate coach. Specifically, the electricity stipend is $2,600, and we would like to ask for something of a similar amount. Otherwise, we would appreciate receiving any form of contact or any relevant information as to how we can better recruit for a teacher this coming year. Thank you for allowing us to speak tonight, and we hope that we can help our students find their work.
Can staff follow up, please?
Yes, ma'am, we'll certainly follow up.
This is Frank Sterling.
The next speaker is Rich, followed by Christina, followed by Paul.
This is the son of Yolanda.
To show the speaker. Thank you.
We'll start off with a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. "The hottest place in hell is reserved for those who remain neutral in times of great moral conflict." We read a man letter that was sent to the city council, the mayor, city manager, attorney, and chief of police. Yolanda Ramirez, an elderly Brentwood resident who suffers needless and died while in custody of the Brentwood Police Department. A family devastated by her violent and timely death and deeply disturbed by the city's handling of this matter. Indeed, the tragedy of her death has been compounded by the continuing failure of accountability, transparency, basic respect for human life exhibited by the city over the last 4 months. Our family demands justice for the killing of our beloved Yolanda. To begin restoring public trust and do what's right, we formally demand the following actions be initiated by the mayor and city council. First and foremost, pursuant to California Government Code 274-91-6, Interim Chief of Police Walter Rodney.
The one on the side, that's the husband. That's Rudy Ramirez.
Encourage the coroner to utilize the jury during the process. Contra Costa County pathologist James Caruso claimed that Yolanda Ramirez's manner of death was due to natural causes, which is deeply troubling, inconsistent with the findings of the independent medical examiner, which concluded that the manner of death was homicide. Given these conflicting conclusions, the coroner's inquest is essential to ensure transparency, credibility, and restore confidence. We have some other people finish the rest of our demands since we're running out of time.
2 minutes.
Christina, followed by Paul, followed by Becky.
This is our first time speaking, y'all.
Do my time start? Oh, my name is Christina Webster, and this is my first time at City Council. And I just want to say, I wish I was here under different circumstances. Because the fact of the matter is, we see Yolanda, and she died in custody. Are you serious right now? You have to have a 19-year-old come home. I didn't even get to go home, actually. I had to come here straight after work to come sit here and talk to a room full of adults about how we need to get justice for this woman. Period, point blank. Why isn't there an inquest? We've seen this happen with George Floyd. We've seen this happen with Breonna Taylor. So what? So what do we have to do for y'all to hear us? Because the community's spoken. Y'all can sit here and say y'all don't know how the community feel or whatever excuse it could be. I don't know if any of y'all have anything to do with it, and frankly, I don't care if there's nothing done about it. Because the fact of the matter is if all of you here can see everybody who couldn't stop what they were doing their own life in this economy, we stopped what we're doing to come help her out. And y'all can't even listen, y'all won't do nothing. I'm not saying y'all haven't, because I don't know, I really don't. But if nothing does happen, then that's a real problem. And that really hurts the trust of the entire community. And that's what y'all represent. Y'all represent us. Y'all represent Brentwood, y'all represent America, y'all represent every single person that walks through the doors. Every single one of them. So when you want to represent us, you represent this right here. We want justice for her. Period, point blank. That's all we want.
That's right.
That's it. That's it and that's all. And I'm so embarrassed to be around here and to say that this is happening in a place where I call home. Seriously. Real life. Because this isn't a joke. I'm a 19-year-old. I should be at a party right now. But no, I'm sitting here in City Council talking to y'all. Free Congo, free Sudan, free Palestine, and fuck Israel.
That's right. That's right.
The next speaker is Paul, followed by Becky, followed by Jenna.
Paul is the husband's brother. It's the husband's
I'll
brother.
give a quick shout out to former city manager John Eva, a very good friend of mine for 26 years. Eric Beachman is still working. The homicide summary from second autopsy. Chief of police, city manager, and the city attorney are probably the only three in this room who has seen the footage of that killing. I called the police union, the phone number, and it's disconnected.
How convenient.
CEO and president of the police union. He's the leader of your police force. And you don't have any problem with that at all. This type of incident, you need a program like the Felton Foundation that goes in to de-escalate these type of slight domestic quarrels. I'm surprised by all the women on the city council, the mayor, and the city attorney. This was violence against a woman, an elderly woman. I haven't heard anything about that. The footage, as you said, is going to be released on the 28th or by the 28th. That's in 18 days. And the horrific experience of this family, you should be ashamed of what you have put them through. And then we're still going to hit another tsunami. I'm requesting that hopefully Councilwoman Tanisha leads the charge for a coroner's inquest. Do something for your pride. Thank you.
That's right. Justice for Yolanda.
So here we are all again. I'm sure you guys are getting tired of seeing us. I know I'm tired of coming because I hate public speaking. It gives me anxiety. I also hate that I cry each time I'm here, but I can't hold in the tears. But despite my discomfort, I will continue to show up because my mom's no longer here to tell us what happened to her. We still have not had time to grieve, and the pain is raw. My family and I are constantly busy sharing her story that her grief has taken a back seat. I'm emotionally drained, and I don't do nearly as much as my dad and my brother Richie do. So I can't imagine how exhausted they are. But if we aren't out here advocating, then everyone would have no choice but to believe the lies the police department are trying to spread to cover their asses. That she was trying to flee, that she was resisting arrest, that she had a medical emergency, and that she died of natural causes. But then to further mock us by releasing the footage of the Christmas Eve incident before my mom's, an incident that occurred 3 months after hers, is ridiculous. If it wasn't for our badass attorney, Melissa Noel, helping guide the way, we would be nowhere near the truth of what happened that day. She committed no crime for her to flee from or resist arrest from. Witnesses say there was no reason for her to be treated the way she was. She did not have a medical emergency or die of natural causes. She was brutalized with blunt force trauma to her body and a fracture to her skull. Why is the coroner's report so skewed from our independent findings? This is why we demand a coroner's inquest, to find out why the coroner didn't do his job. But that falls in line with the rest of the people investigating this incident.
Supposedly.
Nobody seems to be able to do their job and give us the answers we deserve. How are we supposed to trust those meant to protect us if they're constantly hiding the truth and gaslighting the community? We're not the people we once were. The light in us did when my mom died.
Good evening, council members. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Ramirez family, a family that I'm deeply proud to be part of. I attended prior meetings where the death of Yolanda Ramirez on the encounter with the custody of Brentwood Police Department has been raised, and I have some points to add. To say that there is something special about the Ramirez family is a vast understatement. The Ramirez family is an integral part of Brentwood's foundation.
That's right. We want justice.
City. That history only deepens the disappointment and heartbreak I have felt since my sister-in-law lost her life. I find it profoundly contradictory to witness this same council who once honored the matriarch of this family in this very room now turn the coldest of shoulders to her children. The name Alicia Morales Ramirez is familiar to many of you due to this council's decision to honor her legacy by placing her name on the Brentwood Elementary School building. Yet today, rather than exhibiting respect for her family, you offer silence. No acknowledgement, no response, no guidance as they seek for answers. City Council's oversight does not end when an issue becomes uncomfortable. You oversee public safety, you oversee the police department. You are responsible for responding to constituent concerns and actions with not brutality, but with hope. It has been said the officer can follow procedure, prove it, provide answers, provide procedural documents. There's another slogan that's bigger than part of the family is no to David, which means don't give us, don't let them, which came to them from their mother, who was honored by this council. This family is not going to give up. They will continue to contest it. And they will continue to say no to Davis when the justice is.
That's right, Nicolette.
Next speakers are Francis, followed by Rudy, followed by Mary.
City council members, here we are again. 4 months later, and we're still waiting for answers. Why is it taking until the end of February to release the body cam video? Is it because it will show that Officer Peachman and the unidentified policewoman did not follow protocol and procedure? Why has the policewoman not been identified yet? Is it possible that she was a trainee or she is a trainee, a relative to somebody? Someone who should not have been there? We don't know. All this cover up and no transparency has resulted in a total lack of credibility for any of you. If Officer Peachman and the unidentified policewoman had followed correct police protocol and procedure, which includes de-escalation first, I saw that in the police manual, we wouldn't be here. According to state law, the body cam video should have been released 45 days after the incident. How can we have confidence in a police department that chooses to not follow state law? City council members, City Attorney Brzezinski, Interim Police Chief Obradnik, sadly, you are all digging a huge hole for yourselves. When the truth comes out, it's going to be bad for all of you.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
All we have asked for at each and every meeting we have attended is for transparency and accountability. This shouldn't be difficult if the officers had followed the Brentwood Police Department mission statement that says to protect and enhance the quality of life through uncompromised dedication, professionalism, and innovative police services and our integrity. I don't think so. Passion, possibly. Accountability, zip. Respect, no. We have not seen evidence of any of these. Please do your job. Do what you were hired to do. Repeat your mission statement and even throw it out because you're not following
The
it.
speaker's timer has expired.
I'd like to thank everybody for showing up again, and that we keep showing up again to show these
Please hold on.
people that. I'm confused again. You guys had shown us nothing, no video, no audio, anything, yet you have somebody murdered again Christmas Eve, and you already released all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Why? What's different? What makes their case more special than what we are going through? You cleared everything up for them real quick to where you could put out that video. We've been asking you guys since forever, and you guys just sit there. You don't say anything because protocol about the investigation, ongoing investigation. Every excuse that you can think of. There were no excuses for this murder that happened on Christmas Eve. You guys released all that information right away. Why? Why them and not us? Our family is just as important to us as theirs is to theirs, and here we are, pleading with you guys again. It falls on deaf ears, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody seems to really care. It seems like you guys get offended by us showing up, by talking and relating all these stories. This man here, who's supposed to be the chief of police, intern, what's his job? Why pay him? Does somebody else tell him what to do? Then they should get paid more money and not give anything to him.
Right.
He's supposed to be taking care of the citizens of Brentwood, keeping us safe. They're doing it the opposite. You already had 2 or 3 murders already, and you have not
The
released
speaker's
anyone.
timer has
You're gonna
expired.
have more. You will have more.
Amen.
Speaker's start your time.
She's looking at all of them in the eyes.
My name is Mary Ramirez Palacio. Yolanda was my sister-in-law. I have so many things I could have said, so many questions, but I realized my words
They
are
don't
falling
care.
on deaf ears. You guys don't care. You've not listened to our questions, our comments, our demands. We come from all over California to come to these meetings, to support our families. We're gonna keep coming. We won't go away until we get justice for Yolanda, with your help or without.
That's right. Hell yeah.
The next speakers are Wes, followed by Bridget, followed by Franklin.
So that's power when you can stare them down and not to say a word.
That's right.
It's getting to be, not because of this incident, but that we're living in a time where protect and serve seems to mean protect property and serve the rich, not protect the community.
That's right.
You know, my name is Wes Nicholson. I'm here from Concord. And I've had my dog with the city of Concord before. And I know police are not really always the first ones to say the truth. No offense, but that's the way it is. And it's a sad day. Well, let me say first, I wouldn't trust that guy, Sheriff Livingston, as far as I could throw him. We all know that he's big on the euphemism, what is it again, ecstatic delirium? Now that's the euphemism that got outlawed in California last year. That's the euphemism that cops use when they kill somebody. And so you got a little bit different twist on the euphemism, but everybody knows she was killed as a result of the way the Brentwood police handled her. And you don't have to be a genius to figure it out. So I kind of get the feeling that maybe the city of Brentwood, or maybe the city of Brentwood's police department got a little bit of a ICE wannabe. Because I've seen this behavior, not that it hasn't happened before in Contra Costa County, but it's getting to become the whole way, swear word, it's getting to become the
Swear
norm
shit.
in the country. Take down people, abuse them, hurt them. You guys aren't ICE, but you're acting like it.
Right?
Bridget?
Good evening, council. We're here again.
The husband holding this
We're
thing.
not gonna not be here anytime we can be here, because this is Yolanda. She was a human being. She wasn't a hashtag. It's justice for Yolanda, the human being. You guys, you crack me up. You right there. Mendoza, you're so worried about what people in Brentwood are gonna pay for a DoorDasher?
Robot.
Do you have any idea what they're gonna pay for a lawsuit, for misconduct, for a killing of a 72-year-old woman?
72.
Cover-up? The violation of not giving out the video in 45 days. You didn't contact any attorney. I'm here because I'm friends with their attorney. I'm here because Yolanda needs justice. I never knew Yolanda. That doesn't matter. I don't know if any of you ever knew Yolanda. Doesn't seem like it. If so, you're really crappy friends. But bottom line is, when is it gonna be too much? I mean, 45 days, we're on
over 130 now. What's up? And so now we're gonna wait, and we're gonna wait, and we're gonna wait, and then you think this is bad? Wait until the video comes out. Then you're gonna have a really bad firestorm on your hands.
If they haven't edited the video, that
There's
is.
nothing you're gonna be able to do about it, and you're retiring because you're just running with your tail between your legs.
They've had the video for over 130 days now. Gives them enough time to edit.
Followed by Jane.
Here's my friend Frank, y'all. Listen up.
Hey, everyone, I'm back with the family here and need to retract some because it turns out that you might not be the family representative. You should still be there talking to them though, so it's not an excuse. But I think you're their representative. District 3? Is that you on Zoom? I thought it was District 3, whoever that is. But whoever the district representative is, if it's you, Tisha, you should be out there with this family. And it doesn't eliminate any of you all from being out there as council members, to be actual leaders to your community, to speak with this family, to be out there to demand this video be released in a timely manner, which it was not. Because you leave everybody speculating to what happened. And we saw how you released the video for the other shooting that seemed justified for you all. It came out rather quickly. One thing that we're here for tonight for sure is to demand that you all say something and requested a coroner's inquest, which was put in place for people that had died in custody to have a protection so it could be determined by a jury. So that's one of the asks tonight. And I feel like we all haven't done much as leaders for this community, for this family, but you can do this. So we're hoping, as we leave here, that I know you don't talk back because of your Robert's rules or whatever, but maybe you can say yes to this family that we're going to request a coroner's inquest. Because they already had got their second autopsy and the results you already know. This coroner's inquest, even though like Wes said, no one really trusts Livingston and the county, it's on an official document and it's a jury of peers. So can you all at least do that?
I wish you guys could see their faces.
Robert, followed by Jane.
Hello, I'm Robert, son-in-law to our beloved Yolanda Ramirez. I'm going to continue on with Richie's message that he wanted to share with y'all. Additionally, the family demands the following actions by the city. Immediate removal from active duty. Officer Eric Beachman and the unidentified female officer involved must be removed from active duty immediately, pending the outcome of full and independent investigation. Their continued presence and unchecked, reckless behavior undermine the integrity of any investigation and further erode public trust in Brentwood Police Department. Number 2, recusal of council members. Council members Faye Maloney and Tony Orland must recuse themselves from any decisions, discussions, or votes related to the actions of Officer Beachman in the death of Yolanda. Officer Beachman publicly endorsed both council members during their election campaigns. Recusal is necessary to eliminate any perception of conflict of interest and bias, thus preserving the integrity of the investigative and decision-making process. Number 3, immediate release of all records and evidence. The city must immediately release all relevant documents and evidence related to this incident, including but not limited to all incident and police reports, all original video footage, body-worn cameras, dash cameras, and any videos obtained from neighbors and third parties. All dispatch and communication records. Number 4, implementation of non-law enforcement crisis response alternatives. The city must commit to alternative and innovative solutions to mitigate preventative 911 related crisis. Lastly, creation of community oversight committee.
It's so quick, turn that damn mic off.
Hi, my name is Jane. I'm a board member with Together We Stand, a nationally recognized social justice organization. And I gotta tell you, I apologize for my appearance. I was in San Francisco today, but I've been here a number of times. And I'm happy to drive out from Ocean Beach to come here and tell everybody that this is bullshit.
That's right.
We're tired of it. It breaks my heart to see this family here. You guys have to have some accountability. I think it's great that you're talking about a robot for, 40 minutes. But these are people,
55 minutes.
and they lost their mother.
Amen.
Let them have some closure. What if it was your mother?
They probably don't like their mother's heartless asses.
I have no additional speaker cards in person. I do have hands raised in Zoom. The first hand is Danny. Danny, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
It's been a long time, and boy, did I pick the wrong day to do this from home. And I'm talking about that quote-unquote presentation. I'll save that for another day. But to those that are listening, all right, there are a few things that, unfortunately, in the 6 years I have been watching the sausage being made, that there are areas of clarity that need to be stated, okay? But let me be clear. The 5 members of the city council have made mistakes. That said, I need to make other things clear. One, the female officer is not a rookie. I suspect one of the reasons for holding her name back is because of the city where she was previously employed. The council is being guided by quote-unquote legal counsel. This council, I believe, has no interest in protecting the people we elected, good, bad, or indifferent. And you know, if you know me, you know there is at least one person I can't stand. But all 5 of you were elected. And this council, which I hope to God doesn't include our city attorney. Because if she is, oh my God, but I digress. I believe these entities are trying to protect themselves. Maybe Brentwood, POA, maybe the county, maybe the DA's office. But remember, folks, the DA was involved October 3rd. The council found out the same day we did, November 5th. So no one from staff, no one from the DA's office.
The speaker's timer has expired. The next speaker
They just hang up on them.
is Justin. Justin, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. My name is Justin Feldman. I am the principal research scientist for a nonprofit organization called the Center for Policing Equity. I'm also an affiliate of the Harvard University FXP Center for Health and Human Rights. I have a doctoral degree in epidemiology, and I've been studying death in police custody, much like that of Yolanda Ramirez, for the last decade. And I am giving comment to urge City Council to recommend or approve an inquest in this death. And I have some serious concerns about how the death investigation was handled and need for public scrutiny on it. So in Contra Costa County, there is a sheriff partner system This goes against the recommendations of the National Association of Medical Examiners, the main professional association for forensic pathologists, which says pathologists should be independent of law enforcement.
That's right. That's right, because we're under the sheriff department.
Sheriff coroners are less likely than other death investigators to find that deaths in police custody were homicides. In fact, I looked at all of the deaths in custody that happened under similar circumstances, the data of Mr. Ramirez since 2005. There were 18 of them. 0 of them were classified as homicide. Just like you don't do closed door meetings with DoorDash, I am saying the pathologist should not be trusted to do a closed door meeting to determine a very complex case. The evidence needs to come to light so that
Right.
it be a more comprehensive determination. Thank you for your time.
Woo. You guys heard that? Yeah.
And next speaker is Cynthiana. Cynthiana, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I have a couple of remarks. First, I want to express my deepest sympathy to Yolanda's family. It is heartbreaking, and I hope they get closure soon. I am not an expert in law or anything, but the process needs to take its course. However, I would like to offer a couple of comments on the Uber Eats presentation. I'm not really sure who came with that idea. It is terrible for our city. It is a very clear case of big corporation against simple people, especially in a city where we don't have jobs. Delivery services for food or what have you, it's one of the few means of our residents in Brentwood to bring additional income for their families and make ends meet. Whomever, again, came up with this idea shows lack of knowledge about our city and our economic development situation and need to be fired. And I have a couple names in mind, but I'm
Big old vacuum robot.
going to name Ricardo Noguera. He has been on economic development goals for several years with no results. So I want to hear what he has to say about this bad idea, and I really hope the city council scratches this at least until we have, livable wage type of jobs coming to our city. Thank you.
The next speaker is SB. SB, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sarah. Can you hear me?
This is Frank's wife.
The city council's built or didn't operate in a silo. How none of you, including those who have left or are about to quit, how none of you knew we've been staying in Antioch at city council meetings. We've been calling out people who sit down, run for, or advise city council or city governments for refusing to give a crap enough to ask for a report when there's a law enforcement shooting or anyone dies in police custody or when someone dies after contact with police. How hard is it to both receive a report from the police and to then report out to the public? If the police are just doing their job and can't edit video, why not do those things and report out soon after? Make it a part of your city manager report. This isn't a new idea. No more speaking things under the rug anymore. The rug is filthy, frayed, and we can see underneath it. Now, what makes me think that it'll change as a governing body? I don't know. I will ask you to ask yourselves, instead of asking yourselves, how are we going to pay this out? How do we fix optics? How do we protect violent police? Ask yourself, was this elder abuse? Was this murder? If so, who's complicit and how long will this punch you? Just try to lead with your heart and make good, loving decisions.
They don't give a shit.
Sit.
They have no conscience.
Maria, go ahead.
Evening, council members, Madam Mayor, happy Black History Month.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we're at this juncture. I'm Maria Ramirez, I'm a resident of Contra Costa County, and I work for Contra Costa Health. I'm here in my personal capacity. We have a crisis line in our county, a crisis line that was designed after an unfortunate death, another Contra Costa County young person. And it came out of a lot of pain. And it pains me that the response of this city's police was not to engage in de-escalation and engage other resources to help this family. It also appalls me that the city council has been using the excuse that there's active litigation to not do something to protect the residents of the city of Brentwood. How can you let police officers who are involved in such an event, if you want to call it an event, go back like it's business as usual? It's such a liability. I don't understand how the city council would not
They
call
repeat no
for
nothing.
some of the actions that have been brought up by
Just back to work as usual.
to look into how do you hold your police accountable? How can you do better in holding your police accountable? There's nothing that precludes you from doing that. Generally, you should have been doing that years ago, especially given the state of our policing in the United States. And it's so disrespectful that nothing has been said about why the body cam footage has not been released yet. The code calls, yes, for extensions. But you should at the very least let the family know, let the residents of the city of Brentwood know why we keep delaying the release of the body cam footage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The previous timer had expired. I have one additional hand raised in Zoom. Stephanie? Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Stephanie Williams-Rogers, and I am a Brentwood resident. I'm speaking tonight to express my support for the family of Yolanda Ramirez and the request for a coroner's inquest. My understanding is that a coroner's inquest is a public, independent, fact-finding process meant to clarify the cause and manner of death. It's not about assigning blame, but about transparency and answering unanswered questions. When a death occurs while someone is in police custody, it understandably raises concern and uncertainty in the community. An independent and public review can help ensure that the facts are clearly established and shared openly. I recognize that the city does not have the authority to order an inquest, but I respectfully ask that the council consider formally requesting the coroner's inquest through the appropriate county channels. Doing so would demonstrate a commitment to transparency, accountability, and public trust. Thank you for your time and for considering this request.
We have one last hand raised. Marisol, go ahead.
Marisol.
Hi, thanks for the presentation on the DoorDash robots and the explanation that the city manager gave, that this was just a presentation and hopefully he can go back and maybe stop this in its tracks. I was just in LA for a whole week. I was there for 6 days actually, and they were everywhere, those little robots, and they're so annoying. But you kind of expect it in something like a big city like Los Angeles. Even Concord is bigger than us. Even San Ramon is a little busier. I just don't think it's the right fit for Brentwood, and I think a lot of the concerns with the sidewalks,
Fuck the robot.
the bike lanes, we have so many bikers here. We have so many people that come in from other cities to come and bike our town. I just don't think this is the right fit for the DoorDash robots, so I really do hope that, it goes back to city staff and it just kind of disappears forever. Thank you.
I have no additional hands raised.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for your comment. We would never tell you to not speak, but no. And I hope that when you come to speak, that we are doing our best to listen and in the way we can. And we see you next time, and we see you next time. You are absolutely welcome to share your voice. We're going to move into consent calendar.
You can't just sit here on your phone the whole time.
She was on her phone. That's some bullshit.
Break 3 minutes, and then we're going to review the consent calendar.
It's always next time. You know what? Take this.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Hear me?
No, I got it. Huh?
You know, you can't chew and walk and chew
You can't chew bubble gum at the same time. We are going to talk to family. Guy in the red hat coming right now. This is my friend, my brother. This is Hermaine Ambris. What'd you think about that?
Bullshit as usual.
Right?
You have some incompetent training officers, competent people who sit up front, you know. It's black and white. Murdered somebody, man. Have heart, man. Every one of these people have a mother. I don't know if you do or not. They have a grandmother. Have heart, man. Give it to us straight. We're here and we're never gonna leave, man.
That's right.
Ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Justice for Yolanda.
That's right. That's right.
We want justice for Yolanda.
That's right. Brother Mike. Go see the. Here's the husband.
Go to the top floor, race around. Okay, thank you, man.
It's the husband right here.
Thank you.
How'd you feel about that?
It's still, they're weak. They've got nothing to say, don't want to say. Yeah, I don't know what we're gaining here other than having our say. And,
Right.
and people agree with us. And everybody feels the same way we do, that they should be coming out with all the information that we're asking for.
When they didn't even care. If you're gonna be on your phone and act like you're listening, at least take your glasses off, because we could all see the reflective on the lens that they were on their phone checking out their Facebook. That's some bullshit. Anyway, this is Carlos Aguilar, Stay Brown Podcast. We got a bunch of people on here saying make them listen. We should all show up on the next one. Take all their time. They're saying their hearts are with you, brother.
Thanks for all the support, man. Thank you for all the support. Thanks for listening in on all these podcasts with Carlos and Frank and everybody. This is how we're going to win. That's how you guys are going to help us win, is by people calling, people coming to these council meetings and supporting and getting the word out. So we appreciate everybody that comes out and helps us.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Carlos.
You're welcome, brother.